Hello everyone, hope all of you are doing great. I have uploaded a couple of live sessions in my channel, and I thought like I'll upload one video with some information about why we should learn SQL and what is the scope like while learning the different aspects of SQLs, right? And what is SQL exactly? Uh, so SQL, mostly it known as a SQL, which is actually structured query language. So as you know, it's a language, okay, to query a database. Okay. The structured query language is known as SQL. So why we need to know SQL, structured query language? Because this is the most common way to communicate with most of the databases. Okay. And while I talk about database, what is exactly database, right? I'll go through that. So for now, you just understand this. SQL is kind of a syntax or kind of a language which will help us to communicate with database. And what is database? So database is kind of a storage, okay, where we keep our data. We can retrieve the data, we can update our data, we can insert data, right? We can store all our data or information. Okay, there are many databases. Suppose if you say Microsoft has Microsoft SQL Server, okay, Microsoft SQL Server. And don't get confused with SQL query language and SQL Server. It's a server and that is a language, that is a syntax, okay? The server. Then we have Oracle, then MySQL, then DB2, etc., etc. Okay, there are many. And mostly I'm going to cover here Microsoft SQL Server. It's a RDBMS, Relational Database Management System. It's called RDBMS, Relational Database Management System. Because in Microsoft SQL Server, data are stored in a tabular format with the help of column and rows. And there are different multiple columns we can insert in the database. Okay, in SQL. And we can connect all those tables with the help of some mutual common fields or columns. Okay, we'll go through that. For now, you just know that SQL Server is a server, Microsoft SQL Server, where we keep our data in a tabular format with the help of rows and columns, where we can keep various kind of data such as integer, character, right? Text, I mean to say text, numbers, okay? Special characters also we can keep. So there are lots of things we can store here in SQL Server. So now why people want to learn SQL structured query language? So suppose Microsoft SQL Server. So who create database? I'm just giving some of the job skills or job titles who are involved in which part of the database work. Okay. Some of the companies they are growing their businesses. Okay, they need to manage their transactions or any like suppose a company which is selling some products, they want to manage their all the products selling and sold or profits on or lost, all the things they want to store in somewhere so that in future they can analyze the trend how their company is growing, right? They need to know. As a business, I need to know what is my company is doing since 5 years or 10 years, right? So just like if I take an example of stock market, right? How you come to know that this stock is performing well, very well since 5 years? How you come to know? Because data are stored since that many years, right? Or since the inception of that company. So that's why the database is required. We need, because nowadays data is very much important, right? In a simple manner, a small vendor in a small town, how they keep their data? They keep in a notepad, right? In a hard copy, in a notepad, in a book. They just write down, note down, okay, this much today's sale, this many items I sold today, and this many was my cost, and this is my profit. And they just track it daily basis, and they have entire book. They manage for 2 or 3 months, right? Then there is no page left to write, then they again buy a new book, and they keep the uh, calculation. Okay, how much profit I got, right? It's a small business. He only or she only is looking for how much he got profit or she got profit during that entire month or during that entire like year. So data is very important. So that's why we, for the big entity who has lots of data on daily basis, they need a database to store the data. For a small entity, even Excel is fine. Initial day, when the demand and supply of customers were very less, like 100 or 10, I think Excel was also manageable. People used to use Excel. They used to keep columns. Okay, these are customer, these are sold item, done. But with the increasing volume, increasing uh, the size of data, Excel cannot held all the data, all the records, right? It will be stuck, or there is a limitation in Excel. And even if it is like full of data, Excel hardly uh, allow you to perform something, because it will be stuck because of huge size. So that's why people, or big entities or small entities, nowadays every possible business who are growing, they use database, right? And in market, mostly SQL server, Microsoft SQL server is popular, even Oracle is popular, right? Okay, so let me go through to that to main topic. So now database, who will do what kind of work in database, right? So database or DB architect, okay, while a company or a user require a database to store the data, database architecture, okay, they design the database architecture, like what architecture they'll follow to create database, okay, how many tables they need, or those all those things. And DBA, database administrator, will manage that database, okay, will help to create and manage the database. Okay, they get the database, business discussed with the uh, uh, the database architecture, business analyst, DB, everyone will be involved, stakeholder, everyone will be involved, and they discuss, okay, what is your requirement? Okay, I need a database. Okay, so how many records you want to store in a database, like in the future prospects, how, what will you want, need the size and all those things, and how many, like what kind of samples they need, a sample Excel records. They will send some samples. Okay, these are my data in Excel. Okay, these are my columns. I need this kind of like tables created in my database. And then database architecture, DBA, all those people go through that table data and apply the normalization concept to create multiple tables, and then create the tables in database. Okay, so then after that, there is another job role which is called data engineer. Data engineer. Okay, what data engineer does? Data engineer's work is mostly related to ETL works, or any data quality related things like ETL work and any data transformation required just to load the data into database. Okay. Data engineers mostly see the flows of data, how it's getting loaded, and if anything they require to contact, they even contact DVA as well. Okay. Suppose company has most of the data daily basis or weekly basis coming in the CSV file or Excel, okay, or text file or JSON file, JSON format, right? So data engineer used to build it ETL like packages with help of which they used to load those data into required or desired tables in a database. Okay, they built SSIS package, SSIS. Even SSIS is a product of Microsoft SSIS. Okay, it's integrated service. That means it's a kind of a ETL tool, extract, transform, load. Okay, then comes analyst, data analyst. What data analyst? Data analyst. What data analyst does? Even not even only data analyst, business analyst, or report analyst. Okay, report analysts mostly used to create report out of the data available in database. Okay, and data analysts mostly do the, even data analysts also involved in the visualization creating report, but they mostly do the SQL part as well. Like with the help of SQL query, they SQL language, like which I told just start at the starting. With the help of SQL language, they connect with the database to get some relevant data and do all the queries, all the logics. They apply the logics with the help of uh, different query logics. Okay, and they build some customized SQL query. I'll tell you how they build customized SQL query to get a desired result set. Okay, based on their analysis. Even business analysts also do similar kind of things. However, business analyst, the designation is for some company, it differs. Some company, they mostly involve with the interaction to business and data team. Okay, they act as a mediator between business and data team, just technical and requirement part from the user prospects, and they just kind of a communicator between them to get to find the final analysis or required analysis, okay, for the business or user. So we will touch some of the DB or architect thing. Okay, how to apply the normalization and all those things. Okay, in the data, I already touched those things in my like live classes, but mostly I'll focus in this couple of minutes on this data analysis part, data analyst be or report analyst, data analysis part, where we will work on the SQL queries to query out the data, okay, from the database. It's all messy, just let me delete these things. Okay, so what I told here, there is a database based on which we analyze the data, okay, with the help of SQL query. Okay, we communicate with the help of SQL query to the database to get desired result. And what data analyst scope, why you should know SQL as a part of data analyst. See, as I told, database admin mostly they deal with the security prospects or access management thing to that particular database. When you join a company, right, who will give you, because see, company, in a company you do not need to create database from the scratch. A company will have already some databases, right? You will join as a database analyst in that company, and they'll provide you access to a database, to some tables, to perform your daily duties, to analyze those data, right? So to get access, DBA will help you to get access into the database. DBA manages the database. Architecture role is done once he complete architecture, okay, and build a database, right? His work is done. Then DBA actually manage the database from that onwards. Like if any user needs to be revoked the access, he used to revoke from for that particular user. And if any user wants to get the access to the database, he will allow that all the security permission related thing. Okay, any table needs to be deleted from that database, DBA will delete that table from database, or anything needed to edit or create, then he will discuss with the business, okay, requirement, all those things, and create. Some of the company, even data analyst also can create, okay, can create tables if they are given their own schema, or their own permission space. Okay, they can create tables and they can update table, but most of the cases update tables are only given to them where they own the data. As a business analyst also, they can own a data or business, but mostly update and all those things is handled by DVA. So that's why while going through data analyst, you should know some of the topic, some of the topic, okay, which a DBA should know. You should know at least some of the basics because it's required, right? So although data analysis mostly involve the uh, select, I'll tell what select is if you do not know. Select is a data query language, that means querying. To query a data from database, you firstly use select, like to retrieve data, okay, just like insert. You can use insert. Insert means to insert some data into table, right? Or create table, right? You can use create statement as well also. So although data analysis is mostly involved with the selecting or doing some CT subqueries, all those things, like filtering out the data to get the required data sets, but still they may need to insert or create also sometime, because they need to create temp table. I'll tell what temp table is and why, in what scenario we create temp table, right? They need to create some other tables. So that's why they need to know, as a data analyst needs to know all those, okay, SQL statements, okay, DDL, okay, DQL, DML, etc. And what is this? I'll just open a PPT for you. Okay, let me open the PPT. So we'll mostly learn the most of the important things which is required for the data analyst role. Okay, although as a data analyst you should know the visualization part, Power BI or Tableau or Power BI, all those tools, but main focus for this video will be on SQL. So first of all, how to install Microsoft SQL Server, right? Microsoft SQL Server, how you'll install? After installing Microsoft SQL Server, you should install another tool which is called Microsoft, this one, Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio, because Management Studio is required where you will learn the SQL language to communicate with your data. And where is your database stored? In a SQL Server. So these are two things, okay? Microsoft SQL Server where the database is stored, the storage you get, and Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio, SSMS, okay? SSMS. This is actually the tool with which you communicate with the SQL Server, and how you communicate with the help of SQL query. Let me clear this. So SQL Server you will install, okay? Microsoft SQL Server you will install. Then Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. Management Studio. You will install these two. Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio will help to interact with the server database where the database is available with the help of structured query language. Okay. So now how to install Microsoft SQL Server? You need to install this first, then second this. Okay, how to install Microsoft SQL Server? Go to any browser and type Microsoft SQL Server. This will give you the download option. See Microsoft site, microsoft.com, SQL Server download. Just click here. Once you click here, if you just come down a little bit, see there are two options, developer or express. Oh, I just clicked, right? It already started downloading. So anything you can install, express or developer, just click download now. It will just download and just open file. That means double click or go to the download folder and double click. It will open your installation program. Okay. So now if you go, okay, after installing, this will come here as this. I'll show you. I already installed, so I'll not complete the entire installation process. Just I'll show some of the steps. Okay. Once you see to 2022, once you install Microsoft SQL Server, it will give you all those. This folder will come. Okay. Okay. And this was the next which will begin. So once you install Microsoft SQL Server tool, these will give actually this Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. I have 19, but the latest version is 20, I believe. We'll go through. Okay. So now I'm installing that Microsoft SQL Server. So just click on basic. No need to do all those custom and those things, right? Uh, so mostly this part actually done by DVA, right? But you should also know like how to install in a basic, because it's a very basic thing. Just you can go through next, because you are just installing for practice, right? So this is the license term. Just click accept. And this is the location where your file SQL servers will be installed and what is the size. Okay, downloading size. Okay, if you want to change the path you can, but keep it like by default. Okay, and hit install. If you hit install, see all the downloading installation package. I may cancel because I already have this, so you just need to follow the instruction. Just click next, all those things. That's it. Nothing like you need to uh, worry about. It'll automatically install your SQL server. Maybe it'll ask for the server name and all those things. You can keep the server name, all those things based on your laptop name only. So till the time it installs, let me go through the second step. After this server get installed, okay, you can go in the same page where you downloaded your server. You can go a little down. If you go a little down, in the tool, you will see Download SQL Server Management Studio SSMS. Just click here. This will again open a page. So you just need to go a little. See, I have 19, but recent version is 20. So you can download this recent version as well. So just click here. It'll download now in your download folder. Okay. And then you can directly double click or maybe go to that folder, double click. It'll open the similar kind of installation file, installation thing. Okay. Then you can install. And for now I'll cancel this because I do not need this. I already have this installed. You can ask me if you face any problem. Once you install both, this will show here Microsoft SQL Server. Okay, and then Microsoft SQL Server tool SSMS, or here also it will come SQL Server Management Studio. Once you click this after installation, it will show you like this. Because I told you server name, right? While you installing the server, it'll ask for some name. You can give your own desired name also, and you can keep it as a by default. By default, mostly it'll take like this desktop, your own desktop, and SQL Server Express. As I told, I have installed Express version. You may go with the developer version as well. For practice, even anything is fine. Okay, so it'll come up like this. Okay, and what the company will provide you when you join as a business, as a data analyst. When you join a data analyst as a data analyst, they will provide already that system. Your laptop will have this SSMS installed, right? Because you are joining to that project and that required SQL Server, so they'll have already installed those things. And you can just click on that SSMS SQL Server Management Studio, and it'll open you a page like this. And then maybe you can change the server name as given by the business. They will have their own server names. You can change the server name, whatever server name they give. And I think they have mostly I see Windows authentication, like whatever your ID to log into the laptop. DBA have that ID itself, and they give access to that Windows authentication itself based on your window login. But if it is not in the authentication, it is a server authentication, then maybe you need login ID and password. Okay, and mostly I see window authentication. So here also, while configuring, you can change it. I have given window authentication itself, so by default it is coming window authentication for my desktop server name. Okay, so now if I connect it after giving all the credential in your organization which you will join, then you can just click on connect. It will enter you to your server and all the databases and all the tables. See, SQL Server Express, right? SQL Server. I told you this is a SQL Server. Inside server, there are databases, and databases in a single SQL Server. There may be many databases. Also, you can create. How to create? I'll tell you. Okay, it's a simple syntax. Create database. Okay, nothing much. So I have created a couple of databases. However, by default, when you install first time, these three will not show to you. You will see only this couple of folders, security, like this kind of folders. Once you expand your databases, you will see in the system databases master. These will be by default installed in your system as well. Okay. And in this master database, already couple of tables, maybe there will be no table because I have actually inserted those table. So you will not see any tables. You may see some system tables. Okay, some system tables you can see. So the entire database after you installed will be blank, empty. You will have master, you will have table, but there will not be any table. Okay. Then you need to create some table, insert some data for your practice. How to do, I'll tell you. And then these things I've created, oh no, not these things, these are by default coming. Okay, this string I have created the database for my own purpose to explain you guys, right? So now just let's close it. And how you will write, where you will write that SQL language, right? Structure query language, with the help of which you will be connecting to the database or server, right? How you will run, how will write, where you will write your language. To write your language, there is a query tool. See, new query. Just click here. It will open a page, blank page where you can write your own syntax or the SQL language. Okay, SQL query. So now, whatever your database is selected, once you click on that particular empty page, here in this site, you can see master. So this is what your database name, DB name. Okay, this is what your DB name. Okay, which DB you are working into. Suppose I have couple of more DB, right? Class, SQL practice, so that I can even change by going to here, drop down, see SQL practice timetable. If I click timetable or maybe SQL practice, only I can access to the tables or views related to SQL practice database. I cannot access to master. Suppose I'll show you an example. So how to write query, I'll also explain, but just for now, give concentration here. I am just selecting star from a table. Okay, what is the table available in master? Suppose country. Okay, so let me execute. See, invalid except name, because In SQL practice, there is nothing called country. But if I change here to master, the red symbol, okay, already showing. If I run it, oh, is it, I have written correctly? No, see. Let me again go back to SQL practice. So I have given county, okay, county, COUNTY. So let me execute. See, invalid object name county, because county is not available in SQL practice tables. Not, no table name called county in SQL practice database. Okay, here nothing called county. So it is giving me invalid object. Now, if I go to master, suppose I change it to master and then I run it, because master has county. So if you see that red under like that, under this county there's a red symbol, right, line, that is also gone. But whether it gone or not, you can just execute and you will get the data. See, because master has the table, so I need to choose my database properly. So why I'm showing this at the first, because when you join a company, you will given access to couple of datas, and maybe you will be told to retrieve couple of tables which is available in a specific database. Then you need to choose your database properly from here. And to choose a database, even you can use command line as well. Use SQL practice. If we like write this here and run it, execute. And how to execute or run this, whatever line you highlight or select, only that particular line will get execute, okay, in this particular query window. So if I just select use SQL practice and execute, you just give a concentration here, the master database here will change to automatically SQL practice. You do not need to go to drop down and select execute SQL practice. If I just here master, even it will give you the hint also what other database available. So use master, right? So see, completed successfully, use master. Okay, once you use master, then it changes to use master. Okay, so this is how to choose your database, right, with the help of query or manually. And what is this actually, this syntax? As I told, mostly people in the data analyst or business analyst, they run with the help of select. Select, the word select means select, you are selecting something, right? You are selecting something. But what something? Star. Star means what? Here star, why is this we use this asterisk or star in select statements? What does it denotes? This denotes uh, all means all the columns available in the table. So what does it mean by all the columns? So a table means this, right? And these are your column name, right? These are your columns, and these all things are row or records. And even columns are called fields, okay, and these are called records, okay. Rows and columns, for easily understanding, like I'm using rows and columns. So while all, that means bring all my columns, id, city, country. From where? All the columns from where? It doesn't know id, city or country or not, because I am not writing any table name till now. Bring all the column, but from where? From country, this table. So it will give me all the columns from my this table. All the column means it also includes all the data in that column also. That means all the records. So if I just execute it, it will give me all the columns available in the country, id, city and country, okay, with all the records. Now instead of star, as a data analyst, we mostly will use a specific column name, because a table will have hundreds of columns. It's not only contain 3 columns in a real scenario. It may have like it may have 200 or 300 columns, right? We cannot like run all the columns if my requirement is only based on 3 or 4 columns, right? We should not run entire like table if my requirement is based on only 3 or 2 or 4 columns. We have to reduce down the query execution time, and it's depend on the size of the data you are retrieving based on the SQL query from the database. So whilst querying a data from country table, all the data, it takes some time. If I only need all the country name, I do not need anything else, all the country name. So I can select only country column and it will give me all the country name. See, right? So by this way, we can select multiple columns, even single columns also. Even I need city and country. I do not need the ID column. Then I can even mention city, comma, how to give comma, how to give multiple columns with the help of comma. Select, which is the keyword, then all the columns with like delimited with comma, then from keyword, after from the table name. Okay, see, correct, got it. So now we understood how to select specific columns from a table, but how to filter or how to select specific rows, the data from a table. We may not need all the rows, right? Because we, in the real scenario, in an organization, we will have lakhs or crores of data. We may not need all the data because it'll kill the query. It'll be huge, uh, time consuming to query a huge table. It'll take 15, 20, 30 minutes also, right? Depending on the query optimization. So for that, if the business is requiring from this table, I'll explain. Okay, it's a small table, you will understand easily. If my business is only looking for the country and city, okay, and they're only looking for the country China. They do not need other country. They're looking for only country China, but they need data city and country. So you have mentioned city and country. They need data column city and country. So they have given column city and country. Okay. But the second condition now, they need only country where country is China. So when I say in normal English, they need data where country is China. So the same thing actually we use in SQL also. Where, see, it's becoming blue. Whenever it become blue, it's mean already SQL keywords, right? So where, as I told in English, where country is China. So where country is China. But in SQL, instead of is, we use equal to. Now it should work. But one thing always remember, in column, we do not need to give any single quotes because it's a column header. It's a header, right? It's coming directly from table. But while you use data, like after the column, like the all other data, right? Rows or records, these datas, which are not column header, there you need to use single quotes. Suppose, and this is applicable only the character or text data type, not for the integer. Suppose if country is equal to, if country is equal to 1, the data type is integer, then I do not need to give anything. But if his country is a text, right, then I need to give, see, because it'll take as a column name. If I do not give the single quotes, it will take as a column name. I now do not have any column called China. We have country and city. We are dealing with data be under that header, right? China, India. So we need to give single quote. Always remember, when you use anything from the data, not from the headers, okay, in where clause, having clause, or any case statement, anywhere, if clause, anything, then always use single quotes for the text or character data type. If it is integer, then you do not need to give single quotes. Okay. And for headers, you do not need to give anything. If the header name has a space like city, instead of city, you have a city name header. Okay. And there is no underscore. Mostly a good database designer who designed the data, they used to give underscore or maybe name like this without space or without space. If there's a space, there is a issue. Actually, that is not a good naming convention for a column. So if there's a space, you need to write the brackets, okay, square brackets, or you can give double quotes to denote that column name. Okay. But here we have the simple column name, so we are not giving anything. But with the data, you need to give always single quotes for the data type, text or character. So now if I run it, it will give me two columns with the data for China, where the country is only China. If you see now, if we select both the queries, okay, select star from country and select, this will give it will give me both the tables records. Okay, I have just selected this and run this. That's why it was giving me only one. If I select both my base table and whatever I wrote here, then if you see, this was my table. I needed only city and country. It given city and country, eliminating ID, and I needed only China, so it given me China. So you understood now how to select or query a table, how to select some specific columns, and how to select some specific rows with the help of where clause. So you have learned where clause. Okay. And what where clause does, it filters the data. It filters the column or data, right? It filters. So now you learn about some of the basic things in SQL. Now, and apart from that, there is some more things. Grouping. Okay. Grouping. So for grouping, let me take some other table. Okay. Okay. Now this will be a good example for the next thing I'm going to explain here, which is called group by. Okay. So for now we have understood select, why we use select, then from. So select star means all the columns from a particular table. Like after from, you have to give a table name, right? From table name, right? Sorry, table. Okay. And star means these will be all the columns name. Okay. Select, then give all the column name from table name. Okay. Then we use where. And for the single comment, why I am giving this to two hyphen, for the single, to comment it out. This will not actually run. Okay, these are comment. I just comment it down so that you can easily understand. For double line comment, what we use, front slash, then star. Okay. And where your comment end, there also give star, then front slash. So this two line will be automatically created as comment. So where a particular column name we have, so this is not columns, it's a column name I'm using here. So particular column name equal to, okay, some character, text or character, right, based on our result set. Now we need grouping. So based on this, till now we understood these things. Suppose here if I have to apply, okay, I do not need all those columns. Now I need, instead of star all, I need only city, okay, then country or state. Okay, city, state, province, and country ID. City. And once you give those table name after from, mostly these will take automatically the available column name. If you do not give that table name and you keep writing that column name, then it'll you have to write by seeing this. But if you already given the from location, select from location table, okay, then I need these columns, then it'll automatically suggest you. Okay, just go down and tab state. Okay, state province, tab country, country id, then okay. Or maybe I only need city and country id. Okay, I got like city and country id, and my requirement is business need country id wise city count. That means for US, how many cities they have a business. For UK, how many cities, whatever country id, they need country id wise count of cities. They need some, like for some business purpose, right, some analysis purpose. So they ask us, okay, provide me these things, this data. So whenever there is a kind of a count, sum, average, anything, like whenever some aggregation is required. Okay, aggregation, some calculation, aggregation is required, like such as sum, my typing, count, okay, average, etc. And with that, even they require some column also, like category. Okay, for country id I need count, right? It's a category. Country id wise I need the count. If they simply ask me, just send me the count of all the cities from my table location, you can simply use, you do not need any grouping, any categorical, right? You just simply can use count of city, count of that particular column. That means count my entire column, count it from location table 7. If you see here, how many rows were there? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. It do not require any grouping, anything. But my request is to group by country id, category wise divide my count. So then with the aggregation I need another column without aggregation. With aggregation, aggregating city with as count, I need another non-aggregated column which will be kind of a category. Okay, so then we need to use group by. Grouping, I'm grouping by country id. And if I run this two, if you see, US 3, UK 2, Denmark 1. Okay, if I just run this both, see, I told you US 3, okay, 1, UK 2, and then 1, right? And you may ask me why for this simple table I am just grouping it and giving them result. They may have n number of data, right? N number of rows with the country codes and cities, lots of countries, lots of cities. Who will go manually to do this? You can simply use these things, country id wise, count of city, group by country id. Done. Hope you understood. Okay. Now I'll explain the next topic. Okay. So next topic will be having. And what is having? Having is, it is similar to where clause. But what is the difference between having and where clause? You should know. Having is used, however, having is used to filter. Having is used, having keyword or clause is used to filter grouped or wherever like after group by, grouped cat or categorical, okay, filters. That means after group by, the sequence is after group by, we use having, and before, like before grouping, if it is not grouped and it's just simply before grouping, we use where to filter raw level data. Okay, so I'll explain it properly, and I'll not give this like double has, just I'll just multi comment thing, which I just taught you a little while back. I'll use that. Okay. Okay, I'll just use this particular table only to explain you group, and I'll need this entire table to show you how we'll use where clause. Suppose now my condition, like I'll use where first, then I'll show you even having. Okay, so my condition is they do not need to see the data from DE, country code DE. They do not need this. Their business is not in that state, it is some others business, and they told I need any other country, any country other than DE. Okay, just remove the DE from my analysis. So when the row level, before grouping, I told, right, before grouping you have to filter in the entire table or something, you use where country ID is not equal to, right, for not equal to is, we use for not equal to, we can use this. Okay, I told you while you use text in a record or row, text data type, then just give single quotes. You can use this not equal to DC, D is gone, or you can use this symbol also for not equal to. These two are similar. D is gone. Even you can use the other symbol or operator also for not equal to. Okay, these are called operator in SQL term. So DE is gone. I do not need DE from my calculation itself. After that, if I go for grouping, suppose, okay, I'll show you both how without where the grouping will be and how after where, because I told before group we use where and after group we use having, right? So suppose how my data was, even DE was 1, so he told he did not need DE, right? So I already removed the DE from my table before even I am going for grouping. So while grouping, it will not, what is the issue? Okay, good. City is invalid because I need this only, right? Why I'm taking some other columns. Okay, so if I now do it, see, I'll run both the query with where before group by and without where. If you see with this first query, it is giving me even D, CA, all the country ID. But as I use where clause to filter it down in the row level from the table itself at the beginning before grouping, it already removed my DE and then it grouped. Okay, and having used after group by, right, to filter it down. So how the having works, right? Having, if I now use having in a different syntax again, having is used to filter in the group data having. Okay, uh, count 2. So if I just run this, it's give me 3. Why? I'll now show you. So this is what my data was like as per first initial 3 lines, this data. Now I am filtering out, okay, I have group by country ID. I got this result. Now I need having count of city, like this particular column, right? This particular column, count of city more than 2. Where is more than 2? 3. US. And just to uh, include another topic of SQL, when you use count or any aggregation, right, in a column, right, any aggregation function, then the column name will be no column name, right? So you can give as alias, like alias name, just like alias name means you have a you will have a name here instead of no column name. Okay, so country, count of city as, I'm just giving short count of city count, or maybe city count. Yes, city count. Okay, city count. Fine. So if I just now run it, or maybe here also I'll give city count so that both you can easily understand what exactly happening. So if you see city count. So I need city count of city is more than 2. Or if I just give more than or equal to, this is also one of the operator, like how to operate the conditions, right? Equal to or more than 2. So anything equal to 2 or more, it will show you. Okay, see 2 and 3. Now you understood where to use having and when to use where and why we use group by, right? And after having, there is another SQL uh, clause. It is called order by. By name only you will be easily understanding. Order means ordering, like uh, keep the order of that particular column. So after having, if I use order by, okay, city count, the alias name we can use in the order descending. It is ascending order 2 and 3. I need descending order, 3 at the top, 2 at the second. So US will be going on top, UK will be coming at bottom. So let me run 3 of the SQL statement. I'll show 3 results. See, this was my initial group by, then I used having, okay, 2 and 3, then I use order by just to descending my result. This is only 2 cities, right? Maybe they will have 100 of cities, and they can sort it down as a business leader or the leadership person. They may not have that much time to again filter it down. That's why you are hired, right, to show them the data. So you have to properly understand the requirement and send a query. So what you learned today, how to select a specific column and how to use the aggregate function, okay, how to use alias and how to use where clause, how to use group by, how to use having, how to use order by. Most of the things are covered, but there are more topics which are a little bit tough. Okay, so you know these things as of now. I'm just going through the simple things which you can easily understand, and then maybe I'll try to uh, upload another video with some advanced topic as a second part. Okay, so once I go through country ID and city, suppose country ID, let me show only one column now. Maybe they want to know, give me the distinct means, the unique country IDs where we have business. So if you send like this, there will be lots of lines, right? USC, Canada, UK, Canada, then Denmark, India, Pakistan, Ireland, Russia. There will be lots of rows. He will be fed up, the business leader. I ask only the country names or country IDs where my business expands, and this data analyst is sending me a list of 2000 or 1000 records. Are really we operating those many countries? Because these are duplicates, right? So how to remove duplicates? You can easily use a keyword after select and before that column, which is called distinct. Once I wrote distinct, you see it's a blue, right? It's a keyword, distinct. So with the help of distinct, if I run now, it will only give you only the distinct, the unique records, CADE, UK, US. Okay. So why I had removed earlier the city. So now I show you the country ID was distinct. Now let's go how distinct will work in 2 column or 3 column or 4 column. If I write distinct keyword in front of 2 column, 3 column, 4 column, or maybe star, it will only look for distinct based on entire column things, not only one column. It will not give you the country ID. It may look for the city also. Okay, if it is distinct, then only it will give you. Okay, distinct. Oh, sorry, I clicked in new query by mistake. See, now if you see, I have written distinct country ID wise. I have written distinct country and city. So if someone asks you, I need distinct city ID and country and city from my business area. I want to see all distinct country and city. Then you need to write the second line. If they want only the distinct country ID, then you can write the first line. So this will give you all the distinct. But if you see here, in this second result set, let me just show you enter data and query. Okay. If you see the second result set, although I have mentioned distinct in the country ID, it shows me US 3 times. Because while it searches for distinct, it searches for the 2 columns I have mentioned. City also, although the first column is unique, but in the city column, it's different. It's not unique. That's why while you type distinct in those 2 columns, it looks for 2 columns. Okay, this US, Seattle, and then US, San Francisco, then US, South Lake. All three are different. All three records are different. So that's why it is giving me again all three. If these also matching, suppose this was South Lake, this was also South Lake, then US South Lake one records and the second record. It would have given me these two. Okay, understood the distinct, how to use distinct. Okay, fine. So even distinct you come to know. So let me touch one another topic here. So table. Mostly you get to work in your organization, not in table as a data analyst, mostly in views and maybe in tables as well. And what is view? View or store like store procedure, all those things. First, let me complete the view first. Okay. Store prop will be a little tougher and I'll cover it in the upcoming uploads. However, you can easily go through my the live sessions where I explain the store proc scenarios, maybe more than 1 or 2 hours. Okay, with different examples. So views, why we create views? Suppose in my table location, I have lots of data. In my table location, I have lots of data. And you joined, I'm an admin, and you join, I'm a business. I have contacted business owners also. They told me not to give access to entire data set from location table to some departments. And you join in that department as a data analyst to do some analysis on the data. Suppose, for example, they will give you all the column data. They do not want to give you okay access to US data. US data is not accessible by the business analyst or data analyst working from outside of US. Okay, US data only will be worked by the US employees, and the India employee or any other employee other than US, they will work in the other country data. So they do not want to show you the US data. So where country, okay, ID not equal to US. And as I told you, you need to give single quotes. So this will eliminate the US from your table. So if they give you this query, you can easily remove this line and you can run this, right? And you will have the US. So that's why they will not give you the table information and nothing. They will just create a view. This is what create statement. Okay, create view and give a view name. Mostly a good uh, structured way of giving a view name is with the prefix as vw underscore, so that you easily come to know it's a view. Maybe some people will not give you this vw underscore as well. Some people directly will give some other name, location, location. Okay, or maybe one to any name. I'm giving any name to the view. Okay, as, then the keyword comes as. Now if I run this, see, commands completed successful. Create view, the view name as what exactly this view will contain. This view will contain this particular statement. So if I create now, it will show me your view is already in a database. Okay, here you can use alter. If you're changing something, suppose this view actually not for US, it should be removing Denmark. Okay, with the help of this statement, you can alter this view will be dropped again, it will be created. Okay, this is alter command. Any modification required, then we use. See, completed successfully. So now if I go to this view, so this view will be treated as table. And what is this table will contain? All the data except country ID US. See, now if they give you this view name, okay, how you will come to know apart from this what are the data available? You will not know, right? And where this view will be available, suppose in master database table you have location, right? So I am creating this view in the master only. So in the master below table there is a folder called view. So if you see, it is not available as of now, right? I'll just refresh it because I have created the location view, so it should be available. See, location one. And here you can go and see what are the columns available in location. Yeah, these are the columns available, right? So that's how, for the security purpose or giving some specific access to some specific group of people, DVI used to create views. Even as a data analyst, you also may create views to use in the report. Suppose to use this kind of two lines in a, it's a two lines only. When you will write complex queries, it will be some 100 or 150 lines. So to use on those 150 lines in a Tableau or visualization tool, you can copy and paste and use it. But for simplification purpose, for simply just using like select star from, you may include entire 150 line of code into a view and give the view name something, rpt underscore. Rpt means report. Suppose for report purpose you are creating a view, so then select star from that rpt underscore that view name, whatever, like location one or something. And then you can use this in your visualization to get the data. It will give you simply this required data only, and your this query will be simply like select star from, right? So view is helpful to restrict people to know the unwanted data which he or she doesn't require access for the analysis purpose or business need. Okay, it'll it'll actually very useful for the security purpose as well. Okay, for now just understand these things. We'll go going forward, maybe I'll cover some more advanced. For now this is sufficient, right? This is what view is all about. Okay. So as I told you, we can write multiple line of codes, SQL queries, right, for our analysis purpose, 100 or 150 lines. But as you know now, we have written only 3, 4, 5, this many rows. How can I write like 100 or 150 rows? Why I need, right? You may have a question. Okay. And the main topic in SQL is join. And what is join? To know join, okay, you may need to understand the normalization. And for normalization, I have updated a video already in my uh, SQL session, live session. So if properly place our data in a different tables so that we can easily get the data, right? So join, well, we while we go through the join concept, okay, I can show the Venn diagram, which is very easy to understand the join. Okay, if you know this diagram, you do not need any other theory or anything. See, what there are two tables. These two boxes means, so circle means there are two tables. We are finding this data which is available in A table and B table. That for to get that data, we use inner join. So how many joins? Inner join, left join, right join, full outer join, self join, cross join, right? So for now, forget about those joins. For now, give concentration on these things. So to get the data which is available on both the table, we use inner join. Then left join. Left join is inner join plus left side table's entire data, which is not matching also. Okay. Similarly, right join is inner join plus right side table's data. That means, let me explain again. Left join means give the matching data for both the table, okay, only matching data from both the table, and all the data, the unmatching data, the unmatching part also from the left table, which are not matching with the other table, okay, this part. Then in the right join, the same concept, like whatever matching, give the data and right side. That's why I called inner join plus right side non-matching, inner join plus left side non-matching. Okay, these three you first understand, then you can go through these things. Okay, this three is very important: inner, left, right. Then maybe you can go with other topics. What is this? This means I do not need the inner join things, which is like matching. Only I need the non-matching left side. Here also similarly, non-matching only need non-matching right side. Okay. Here I need not matching left side and not matching right side, like except inner join. And here I need everything, inner, matching, non-matching, everything. Okay. So these are the syntax, how you can get it easily. You just use the syntax and join the tables. Okay. So I'll give some examples now for the join and we'll finish for today. For that, I need some table which are like related. Okay. Let me quickly find out those tables. Okay. So I am just finding two tables for join concept. Okay. Join. So let me just comment it. Okay. So these are my two tables where I can apply joins. So as I told, there should be some relation between those two tables so that we can join, right? What is relation? In a general human terms, relation, our relatives. There should be some relation. My mother's brother's sister or mother's brother's daughter or something. They are my relatives, right? How we can tell them relatives? Because they are somehow related to our ancestors, our like parents, or maybe our cousins, or somewhere related, right? So similarly, these two tables to join, we should find some relation. If you simply see here, in this table there's a department ID, in this table also department ID. Okay. Now what is that data type? Integer. So what is that? 32122. Here 123. Sales IT support. Here there is no department name. So you found that we have a relationship with the help of department ID. We can join. So you found these two columns which is similar in nature to join to get the department name for this particular table. My requirement is I need to get the department names here. Okay. And as you see here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So this will only be applicable in the inner join, because left join there will be nothing in the left side table, right? There is no additional data which is not available in department ID. So let me go through first the inner join. So now you have one table, okay, employee, as I told, inner join. Okay, after inner join I need to give the second table, department. While writing the join, the keyword after join will come on. That means based on which column you are joining. And as you see here, A dot, B dot, these are alias. And why we given alias, I'll explain later. Okay, just let me go through this part first. So on, where I am, based on which column we are joining. We are joining employee and inner joining department table, but based on which column? From employee, department table, department ID. It should match the employee department with equal to department tables dot department ID. It should match, then only join. Otherwise, don't join. But if your table names are very, long, like employee table, department table, again you need to write employee table dot department ID, department table dot department ID. And as I told, in our real scenario, we have lots of lines, thousands and hundreds of lines of code. Then again, going through those names, table name, while join, all those things, it will be very hectic. So rather than, we can use alias. But before that, let me just run this. So how to use alias? You can simply give, instead of employee, E, and department, D. So we can give as well, but it's your thing. Like if you do not give as well, it will by default take it as. Okay, so if I show you, it will run like this as well. But if you just remove as, just employee space E, that means for that employee I am giving a name to that particular table as E, department I'm giving as a D. Okay, so now if I run, it will give me the data. Okay, the same data in the both the table, it will give me, see. Okay, you got the concept of alias already, the same alias we are using. So now let me run all the three. So my concern was I need all the department name here in this table. So if you now see, let me make it a little up. Yes, if now you see my department name after department ID, it gives, that means if you see here, observe properly, department ID and see how it works. How it works, I'll explain. Okay, just give some concentration here. So we are joining based on E dot department ID and D dot department ID. What is E? E means employee, right? And this is your E table. This is your U table. And this is your D table. So E and D table, department ID. So it is going to match the other tables, department ID 3. Is it matching? No, it will not bring. Then again 3, it goes to 2. No, not matching. It will not give. Again 3 is going for the next line. 3 equal to 3. Oh, it's matching. So bring 3. So 3 and bring the near other column support. Okay, support. So if you see 3 and support came like this. Okay, then we'll go to second. Okay, again it will go for the first rows. 2 equal to 1, not matching. Second, 2 equal to 2, matching. Oh, then bring 2, and near 2 it is IT. Then 2, again it will go to next row, 3. That means each row it will search. 2 equal to 3, no. So it will not bring anything. Then again 1, it will go to 1 equal to 1. Okay, cells, it's matching. Then 1 and cells. 2 not matching, 3 not matching, don't bring. Like that it will bring, go one by one, and bring the entire columns for you. So this is from D table and this is from E table. Okay, as I told, if the data is required for a business requirement, they do not need to see this department id, right? Department id is actually for our purpose, so that we can query it faster, and in our database we do not, it doesn't cost more for the storage thing. We can easily keep with the help of normalized form. Suppose here, if I have to write, I have to keep department name in this table. We have to write all these cells, uh, IT 3 times, sales 1 time, support 1 time, right? And we have a multiple millions of data, so it may cost more, right? So that's why we kept numbering 3 to 1, 3 to 1, like that. And we have a different table only with 3 rows, and the 3 rows is sufficient for entire 1 million data, because we have only 3 department, which is 1, 2, 3, and sales, IT, support. So when they need the department name, we can easily join and give them department name like this. Okay. So while sending data, do I need to send star? As I told, I hardly we use star, because we need a specific column to be sent. We do not need this ID to be sent. The user only needs what? The information which actually they understand. A business leader or someone do not understand what ID is. It's our system, for our system, like, uh, purpose, right? As in technical, we just keep those in an integer so that it become faster to query and less storage, like it occupy. So while sending this, how, what I will send? So from E table, from employee table, which is alias as E, from E table I'll send employee ID. Okay, comma, from E table I'll send first name. Okay, from E table I'll send last name. Okay, then from department ID I do not need to send, manager ID I do not need to send, last name. Then instead of department ID, they are more concerned of department. What department? IT or support? So where is my department name? My department is coming from D table, department table, not from E. So now I need to give D dot department name. So now if you run it, okay, it will not give this ID 3 columns. It will give 1, 2, 3, and the last column 4 column. Okay. So if you now see, it will give only 4 columns. Okay. Now maybe their requirement is they do not want to see first name, last name together. They want to see at the same column. So that is another concept called concatenation. Okay. So whether you can use plus symbol, simply just remove comma and give plus in first and last name. Okay. Just now see Rohit, but it's all together, right? Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, all together. I need a space. So you can give, I told, right? To enter any data, you need to give single quotes, space, single quote. So it will count a space in between 2 plus another one word, which is space. Say Virat Kohli. Or maybe you can write the word concatenate or concat. Instead of these things, just keep comma only, as like earlier we had, like 2 different first name, last name. Just use concat. Okay, concat. See, it will concat this 2 name. Okay, 2 name. If you just now use, see the same thing. Now again you have to use here a space with comma. Earlier it was plus, now it is with comma. See, and as I told, whenever you use this concat or any aggregation, function like sum, average, or any function like concat, etc., you need to give a name because you are creating a new column itself, right? You have first name, you have last name, but with concatenating both the name, what is that new column name? You do not know, right? You have to give the name. So as full name. So maybe you can give full name. So now instead of that no column name, you will get full name. So now even you know the concat formula as well, right? So this is how inner join works. Okay, inner join work. Okay, I'll go to that inner join thing. Okay, so now if I use left, it will give me the inner join and left. In inner join, I got 5 records, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In left also here, it will give me 5 records because it is giving me inner plus non-matching of left. But if you see here, there is nothing called non-matching, right? Everything was matching. Everything, all the details, department IDs in both the table are matching. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. Here also except 1, 2, 3, there is nothing. Here also except 1, 2, 3, there is nothing. So now we'll insert it so that our data is ready for the left and right join. So let me insert. How to insert? Insert, why we use insert command, and what is the syntax? Insert is to insert data into table, mostly which we will not do, but still it may be a question in your interview. Okay, so insert into the table name. Which table you are inserting? I am inserting in department table first. Okay, values. If you're inserting all the values, okay, in the sequence order, you do not need to give the column names. If you are inserting only some of the values in some of the columns, you need to give the column names as well. So as I'm inserting all the values in the department, I'm just fine. So department table, I'm using 11 as a department name, and I am giving it as a some name like what. And I told you, right, whenever you insert some integer and data type is integer in your table, you can simply use that integer instead without any single quotes. But if you're adding a character data type into your data table, then you need to use single quotes. So now it is operation. I am giving operation a or ops. Okay, so in simple word, ops. I'm inserting it into table department. This is my department table. What are the values? 11 in the first, ops in the second. If I just write it vice versa, it may give me error. I'll show you some example. Okay, R&D, so that you can easily understand what exactly I'm doing. So see, suppose if I am not giving any column name, I'm just updating like this: ops at first, 11 at second. See, ops, you are entering in a data type where it is integer. It should be integer. You are adding a character, right? So which should not be the case. You should enter proper data type and proper data into proper place. So now if I go, it will insert one row affected. If you go to department, if you see 11 ops. Similarly, I'll insert now in employee table. But while inserting employee table, I'll use the column as well because I'll not insert in entire thing. I'll just insert some of the columns. How to insert? With the mentioning columns, specific columns. Or if you do not follow the sequence, suppose I just given an example just before some time. I have written ops at the first, then 11 at the second, right? Then you need to give the proper column name so that it knows which column you're inserting which data. If that time we could have give the column name ops as a like department name and 11 as a department ID, it could have inserted, although the sequence is different. So suppose here insert into employee, right? We are using employee, then column names. Okay, first name. First, I'll let me give employee ID, or maybe let me not give employee ID for now. Only I need first name. Okay, last name also I will not give. I need only department ID. Okay, and manager ID also I'll not give. I only need these two. Then values. Okay, after giving the column specific column names, I'll give the column values. That means I'm inserting into table this. In this table, this are the two columns I'm inserting. On first name, I am inserting as a hmm, the name as a something called. I'm giving some name. Uh, Suppose these are all cricket player, right? Suppose Rahane. Okay. And then second department ID I'm giving as a, earlier I have given 11, now I'll give 22 so that you can easily understand. So now if you see, it will get inserted easily. See, so now if you see employee, see I have only inserted first name and last name, first name, and other all the columns are null and department ID. So now my tables are good to go for the left and right join as well. Now if you see, I'll run my inner join. Okay, so I'll just run my inner join as my like as early whatever inner join, right? This two table inner join. As I told that time, by going one by one examples, how it looks for every row, right? Department ID will go 3, then it will go to find 3, okay, matching, then support, right? Then support. Let me instead of this name star so that you can easily understand. Okay, suppose now if you see 3, it's matching, right? So it given support. If it is giving 2, then matching, then IT. 3, then matching, then support. But if you see 22 and 11, it's not available in this table, this entire data set. Here, no 11 and 22 available. Why? We are doing inner join, right? Both the matching table. Here 22 is available in one table but not in other table. Yet 11 is available in department table but not in the employee table. So what is available on the both the table? 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2. So these are matching, right? So that's why inner join pulled only this. Now, if I do left, as I told, it would pull inner join plus left side non matching, right? So what is left here? Employee, right? Employee's left side, my left hand, right? Left side. So in employee table, what is that extra additional which is not matching from both the table? 22. So it should give me all the 5 records plus 22 if I run left join. If I run right join, it should give me all the 5 records but not the 22, only 11. All those 5 records and 11. Okay, so we'll check one by one. Left join. See, 5 records plus 22, right? 5 records plus 22. 22 from left side. See all the things. And here nothing is available. That's why null null. And the same thing if I write as right join. Okay. And let me run all the main tables and right join so that you can easily understand. You can see all the values. Okay. So if you see all the 5 records from inner join, then 11 additional. For 11, I have ops and 11. See, but in this table, left table, I do not have any data for 11, right? That's why it's entire thing null, null, null. So this is how you get the right join, right? Right join, left join, and inner join. Got it? So if you understand those left, right, and inner join, then you can easily get this also. So now from the left join, you do not need that inner things, right? Only left. Right join, you do not need the inner thing, right? Only right. So simply use while joining left. I'm telling you, very nice example. While joining left, your employee tables data will come, right? Like whatever employee tables data additional, which is not available in your right side table, department table, that table data will come plus matching data. So while joining left, if you bring both the data, inner join and employee tables data, Let me run. I'll show you the null thing. Okay. When you run left join, it will bring you the inner join data plus left tables additional data, which is employee tables additional data. That means for that particular records, the department ID tables data will be null, right? If you see this, see these two are null, right? And we are joining with department ID. So the D table, which is department table, will be null. Department ID will be null because this department ID available in employee, which is in the left side, is not available in my right side table. So right side table department ID is null. So we can use where clause, where. Okay, D, right side table. Whenever you use left join, the null you will be using from the right side table. Whenever you are using right join, the null you will be using from the left side table. Opposite. Just remember this logic, you are done. And while using null, we do not write like this. We give is null or is not null. If you do not need null, then is not null. Okay, I'll show you what is null will give and is not null. Is null means just pull me all the data by joining left join. Okay, because these will give me inner join plus left side table join, but my right side table department ID should be null. If you see here, only one null, right? So it will give me only one record. That means these will give me only 22, which is only available in my left side. So here I need only left side data, not inner or not right side data. So this particular not null is null will solve me, give me this result set. Isn't it very easy? Interesting, right? So now, so why we're using this? So if business asks me, let me know what are the departments where department which is available in my employee detail things, but it's not having any department name or anything, because department ID only having, department not having, maybe some uh, like we need to find out, is it the department newly created which doesn't have department name itself as for now? Do we need to create or insert in our table? Are we missing something? Just to get this kind of analysis, we used to write this. So from the right side, if you want to know, from the right side means department side, right? If department side I want to know, okay, 12 11 is a ops, but ops I do not have any employee enrolled till now. So how to know? Where? I told you, right? When right join, use the left table. So left table is my e dot department, and what I am joining, department ID. So use that particular ID is null. So whenever my this particular ID will be null, suppose first let me run the right join. So if department ID is null from employee, this is employee side, right? And this is department side, these are all null. Department ID null, so it will give me that particular line. If you see, these are tables. See, only 11 department available my department table, but this doesn't have any employees or any first name last name in my employee table. This department is not having anyone. So like this we can solve this too as well. Okay, and full outer join, I told you it will give everything. So full outer join example also I'll give here as well today, so that you can complete your join thing. Okay, and then we can proceed on next video with some advanced topics. Full outer join, so full outer join means it will join everything on those two tables. For now, remove this. So if I show you full outer joins, how it gives me all the three tables, the base two tables and full outer join. See, full outer join actually giving me all those five, okay, and then additional 2, from left 1, from right 1. So from 5, and then see left 22 because these are null, and right 11 because these are null. Like non-matching from left side, non-matching from right side, and inner join. Full outer join is giving me everything. Okay, so this is also done. Now this, and I think you know already. Here we use this side null, and here we use that side null. Here we will use both side null, and we'll use OR to get only non-matching values. So how? So full outer join also covered. Now other, that where clause, where, okay, e dot department id is null, or here just give both the keys, okay, both the keys with null, or the dot department id is null. Done. So whether this will null or whether this will be null. So give only those two. So if you just run it here, you will see 22 and 11 done. So it is not giving me any matching values from both the table, only giving the not matching values. So this is what we are getting, right? Wasn't it very easy? And I believe this is a good beginning for you guys. You guys now know join as well. With the help of join, you now know where clause also, how we can join two table and use where clause, right? Even group by also you can do with even this join thing. How? Let me go to the inner join. So inner join I have, right? So if you see this particular statement, which I use concatenate and everything, I want to use group by. I don't want to suppose, let me just make it little proper way so that you can easily understand what exactly happening. I'll use star only so that you can easily understand these things. Now my question is, I need department wise count of employee. I do not need this entire thing, count of employees. Okay, so instead of star, count of employee id, uh, count of employee id. Okay, I can use any table from e, I can use. Okay, any table. And what count of employee id I need? Based on department name, and department name is in which table? Even without alias also it will work. I'll show you. Group by, but better, why I'm giving alias, so that you know the concept what exactly is going here. If you know this concept, it will be easy. See 3. Okay, let me again pull that particular table. So if you see, this is after the inner join my table. I need IT 3, number 3 employees, support 1, then sales 1, right? So see 3 1 1. But why I'm telling you, department is coming from D table, right? So better you use D. Sometimes it may give you ambiguous column or such things whenever you're dealing with multiple tables. So that's why always better to understand from where you are taking what. So now also this will give same result. Department D, group by D dot department. Okay. See 3 1 1. And I told you alias, whenever you aggregate, then use alias as employee count. Okay. So now if you see, let me just make it little let above this group by, so that to know the data and how you use join and then group by, right? This is my data. See, after join also we can use group by, right? Okay, done. Hope you understood all the topics covered today. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Thank you.